Hi everyone. So, as a lot of you may know, I am a very experienced professional spiritual person, spiritual healer, spiritual master. But don't call me a guru, okay? I don't like that one. But, anyways, intuitively, psychically, telepathically, I've been hearing a lot of people pretend that they have an intuition when they don't. And I'll explain the whole thing. So, at the beginning of the zodiac Cancer, we are in the zodiac sign Cancer right now of the year. And so, at the beginning of this, I warned people against false accusations against innocent people unless you have all the evidence that you need in order to avoid drama, because Cancer is at a lower consciousness. They're really suspicious and they're really moody and manipulative, and that could cause so much drama. I warned people against this. But I can't actually reach everybody. Not everybody watches my content, so it's not like they would know what to do, right? Not like anyone would know what to do. And so I've been hearing a lot of people telepathically think that they have an intuition when they really don't know what they're talking about and they're not doing it correctly. They're just probably picking up on the lower consciousness of being suspicious without evidence. And of course, the drama, right? So here's how you know you actually do have a real intuition. You need to do the practices, you need to have the tools and materials and the knowledge in order to have a clear intuition, because right now people are probably hearing things that are made up, or it could be like demons or something trying to mess with them, which could be a lot of the problem. Or, this is where things get really complicated, right? Or they probably get unclear messages. I've experienced that at the beginning of my journey. At the beginning of me using and practicing telepathy, my messages were very unclear, and I was trying really hard to make out what people were saying. I could hear a little bit, but it wasn't very clear. And so before I was like, wait, before I start sounding crazy and like try to like talk to people about it, you need to like just keep it to yourself and like kind of like double check it like in a very normal way. You still have to be normal, right? You still have to ask questions. Please ask questions. Please double check, especially when you're beginning telepathy. You have to double check it. Ask as many questions as you need. Be professional, be normal. Don't be just like pointing fingers at people all crazy, or I heard you telepathically say this. Probably don't do that until you know what you're doing, until you have experience. I have around 10 years of experience with telepathy ever since I was roughly like 16, 17 years old, where I realized, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I took magic mushrooms, I took psilocybin mushrooms. Hey, wait a minute, I can hear you, but it's not very clear. So I had to double check it. Okay? You need to make sure you're not using fluoride in your diet. Of course, we need to make sure our pineal gland is completely decalcified. I'm not sure exactly how the science works, but the pineal gland and the third eye are like two different things, but you should still decalcify your pineal gland. No fluoride in your toothpaste. Don't drink fluoride water. And have like I am vegan. I'm vegan, okay? So I'm alkaline vegan, more on the alkaline side, organic. But I can talk more about that in a different video. And the meditation. If you don't meditate on your chakras, if you have chakras, if you have access to your chakras with psilocybin, you got to clear those out. You got to meditate on your chakras often. So, say for example, you sweep and mop your floors, right? You vacuum your floors, and then maybe like a week later they get dirty again. That's the same thing with your chakras. You got to clear them out regularly so you can actually see and understand what's going on, okay? Because if you don't do the meditation, nothing is going to work. that I'm really, really big on the meditation. So I have you can have like all the crystals, you can have all the herbs, you can cleanse the energy as much as you want. But if you don't do the meditation, then you're not going to be able to use the whole thing correctly. And nothing is actually going to work really well. So you need to remember to know exactly what you're doing and train for a very long time before you come out here with confidence. Like me, I can be confident. I'm very secure. I'm very confident because I've been doing psychedelics for a long time, and I've been doing all of this research for a long time, okay? So, if you don't have access to any of the tools, if you don't have access to the knowledge, I would consult a professional psychic to double check anything that you have questions on. It could take you a few tries to actually find a good one in order to find a psychic that you actually like or is actually true, because you want honesty when you're picking a psychic. You should probably like do a personal reading, or maybe even like general readings on the internet are pretty good. They like, a lot of these people are really, really good at what they do. So I would pay attention to when the psychic tells you about your past and see if it's accurate with things that actually happened in real life, okay? And see how accurate they are to your past, because those things have already happened. So then they can help assist you for future notice, okay? So I hope that helps people. And I have a lot of training on my channel, and if you want to subscribe, if you want to look at all my other videos, I do a lot of training in order to make sure that I can hear telepathically what I need to hear. If I want to hear my angels or spirit guides, or if I need to telepathically hear my friends or something, I want to make sure it's clear and clean, and it's something that makes sense or something that is true, okay? So you want to make sure that you don't have any interferences. You could hear interferences from like demons and stuff. I know a lot of demons will try to like mess with you mentally. And so, yeah, I've heard like, I think demons can like make copies. I'm pretty sure demons like make copies of people that you know. So you think it's that person, but then you realize like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. That's probably a demon copying that person. That's also something that's really complicated and really hard to do, but I managed to figure out what that is. Yeah, it's definitely worth the time and energy to actually train yourself, okay? So you don't just go around pointing fingers at people and sounding like a crazy person when you didn't double check it. So when you're training your telepathy, you need to double check it. I always double check. At the beginning, when I was like 16 years old, 17, I realized, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I've done magic mushrooms before. And yeah, you can hear other people telepathically. And, I didn't want to be weird about it. I always like had to ask questions. I always have to double check it, because like I knew that my messages were not clear enough. Like I knew I could hear like certain words or certain phrases or feel certain feelings. And I'm like, yeah, that was my friend or something. Like that was my friend saying that, but I'm not entirely sure. So you actually have to go message them in real life physically in order to double check it, in order to train yourself up to use it. Okay? I would always just start off with like memes or something. Just like go send a meme telepathically to your friend. Yeah, that's going to be the easiest way to do that. But I hope that helps. I hope that cleared up the air. I hope that gave you some type of direction. And be safe, and be honest, and be true. And yeah, I hope another thing I want to say is that using your telepathy, if you get really good at it, I've been training my telepathy for 10 years. It's the most useful thing I've ever had. So I'm trying to think of like a good example. Like, it's more of like a decision making thing. So when you need to make some type of decision, maybe like what you need to buy, what you need to wear, what you need to, like, what you need to say, or what type of, oh, okay. So with my telepathy and my third eye intuition, with my intuition, my spirit guides will actually talk to me. Like, higher dimensional beings will give me messages. And so, say for example, I'm like super busy, right? And I forgot something on my to-do list. They will tell me. They will remind me. Like, they will literally talk to you and remind you to do something. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Thank you so much. And they'll tell you in time. They always keep you on time. They know the higher dimensional beings. If you can hear them really well and you're trained really well on it, like I am, they will make sure, they will know every single payment you need to make. They know every single household chore that you need to do. They know every single thing that you need to do, and they will remind you, and they will make sure you're on time. It's absolutely crazy, and it's the most useful thing ever. And yeah, for example, like, if you are out socializing with people, yeah, maybe you're like out at maybe you're at a gathering, a social gathering. Your spiritual team will literally tell you who is like low-key hating on you. Like, oh, this person, they're secretly hating on you. They secretly don't like you. So be careful of this person. They will tell you. Because before I had training, I couldn't tell, and it actually got me into a lot of drama when I was growing up. But now that I have training, I don't get in that same drama anymore. Okay? It's really useful. So, as for obtaining psilocybin mushrooms in order to have the abilities, because I know a lot of people don't have access to it, I am still trying to put together a plan to go give some type of presentation to lawmakers in office, right? And tell them about the medicinal properties of 3 types of psychedelics that, in my opinion, or in my knowing, okay, I can't even say opinion, it's a no, I know that we should be able to use 3 psychedelics recreationally, and I have this huge project going on that, and, it could take a while. It could take a while before we actually get these things available, these medicines, these tools. It's a tool, like, it will genuinely help a lot of people improve their lives. I just have to put together my presentations and my public awareness and all of these things that I want to do. If anyone wants to help me with that, please feel free to leave a comment or message or something, or follow my Instagram. It's on my YouTube channel, and you can message me if you're actually serious about participating in the cause, because if any of you out there have done psychedelics, you would know that it could be a very, very good thing for humanity to actually have access to, especially in my country, United States. Yeah, we definitely need some of that. But thank you for listening. Thank you for your time today. And I hope you got something out of it. And if you want to be trained up, real good, I'll train you up real good. I'll tell you exactly what to do. You should subscribe to my channel and give it a like so people get educated on what they need to be doing.